Arsenal with an extra man need this. Ozil clips it in. Welbeck!
Hello and welcome back to Joy Eats Football, where we talk about all things football.
When it comes to Arsenal.
My name is Joy and you can find me on Twitter at 022wenger, and we are here in the presence of my friend Prateek.
Hello guys.
You can find him on Twitter at bvb_pats. So, due to some difficulties, we weren't able to cover last week's match against City. So let's start today's episode with a quick recap of that match. Alright, so last weekend we played City at the Etihad. The final score was 3-1 for them, and it wasn't as bad as the result might suggest. For most of the match we were able to force them out wide, but City are a good crossing side whom you give 1 inch and they'll utilize it to their advantage. All in all, City performed how the champions are expected to perform when they're looking to bounce back, and we looked like a team who are going through transition. What were your thoughts on the game, Prateek?
Yes, like I do agree. City played it well, exceptionally well, like they deserve to. And as you know, City were already favorites to win the game. But yes, Arsenal tried their best. But like City were playing in the mentality of champions, and despite Arsenal being a team in transition, they resisted City's attacks to a certain extent very impressively.
That's it for that match. It was well and done. And now let's focus on last weekend's match where Arsenal visited Huddersfield Town. So Huddersfield are placed 20th in the Premier League. Anything less than 3 points there would have been some cause for concern for Emery. But we got the 3 points, with the final scoreline being 2-1 for us. Iwobi and Lacazette scored the goals for us, and the main concern was not the score but the absentees. Ozil Oba missed due to sickness, while Xhaka was not involved again due to an undisclosed knock. Mkhitaryan returned to the starting lineup after recovering from an injury and looked sharp. So did Denis Suarez, who came off the bench. Overall, I would say not the most entertaining match I've watched, but 3 points are 3 points. What were your thoughts on the game?
Well, yes, it was not a very dominating display in the Arsenal way.
Yeah.
But yes, at this stage, win is important for Unai Emery. Because Champions League, the race for the 4th place is very tight, as we all know. It is between 3 teams.
Definitely. Can't argue with that. Any players that caught your eyes in the match?
Well, I guess Lacazette played beautifully in that match. I observed him only. He was amazing until I watched the game. And Gundozi undoubtedly always catches the eye.
Yes, definitely.
He is the revelation this season, in my opinion. If we keep the trophy things apart, and for me, he is the Premier League Young Player of the season, I will say.
Yes, he is. So, yes, Gundozi have developed exceptionally. So, Gundozi was one. And I felt like Iwobi looked sharp as well. And Koscielny was our best defender on the pitch. And let's move on and look at the table now. The 3 points moved us up to 5th in the table above Chelsea on goal difference and just 1 point below Manchester United. And now let's look into some concerns that came to my mind after the match week 26. Arsenal at the end of the season will lose 3 important players for free. Meaning, other than the holes that the board already have to fill on other positions, they will now have to replace these 3 as well. Now, we can dwell into why this is allowed or what is the planning behind that, but what's done is done. What can be done is planning for the next season, and if it was up to you, how would you plan for the future? We can't go out and splash the cash because we don't have any. So would you try to unearth some gem, or would you promote some young players within the team? So if you were in that position, what would you do?
So let's talk about the vacant goalkeeper position,
Hmm.
the Peter Chip left.
Yes.
I guess as Bird Leno will obviously be next season the number one goalkeeper,
Hmm.
undoubted. So I guess Emiliano Martinez should be recalled back from loan. At
Hmm.
least he should be given a chance of second choice goalkeeper. Like
Hmm.
it's time now. He's at Arsenal for a while, right?
Yes, he has been here for, I don't know, for 9 or 10 years.
So he should be given chance in the cup matches next season, like Capital One Cup and all.
Hmm.
And should be the number one goalkeeper, because I don't think Bird Leno position will be in threat, because it's the first season, so it's understandable. And he matches very well with Emery's tactics also, Bird Leno. So
Yes, definitely.
he will.
So yes, Emi Martinez is a good shout out, and he is on loan at Reading, और मैं Reading के कुछ match देख रहा था, and Emi Martinez overall have been performing well there. उसका result दो clean sheet में हुआ है, तो I would also suggest कि yes, give Emi some chance, so we can save some money there.
Yeah,
And
I mean, Arsenal have good options in terms of goalkeeper, so they don't need to buy in that department.
yes, I would say so. There are some other position which need some funding right now, more than the goalkeeping position.
Yes.
That is for sure. And what about Danny Welbeck and Aaron Ramsey's position? What would you do? Would you promote someone like Emil Smith-Rowe, who's on loan at RB Leipzig? Uske alawa, Reece Nelson is there as well, who can replace Danny Welbeck. Would you do that, or would you try to unearth some gems? What would you say?
I mean, as per my knowledge,
Hmm.
so I will say, like, what you, I mean, if you must have witnessed Reece Nelson's performance in the Bundesliga.
Yes.
So, he is a great player. I guess, Reece Nelson should be given the chance. And he's a versatile player also, right? He can play on the left side too, and the right side as well.
Yes. So
Reece Nelson should be recalled from loan and should be given the chance.
yes, he will be back at the end of the season. He's at Hoffenheim until the end of the season.
Yes. And Reece Nelson will easily fit into Emery's plans because of his playing styles. He's skillful. I have seen his work rate is good also.
Yes.
In the Bundesliga, though he came on as a substitute in the recently concluded match against Dortmund, but he played impressively well. So, he makes an impact, whether you start him or introduce him from the bench.
Yes, and these guys are only 21-year-old. They have a lot of time to improve and develop. So hopefully they will have that period. And okay.
I guess Emery will bring out the best out of him.
Hopefully. Okay, so we don't have much time left for today. So let's quickly preview the only game we play this week, which is against BATE Borisov, whom we face in the round of 32 of the Europa League. The first leg is played away from home. So what would be your lineup going into the game, Prateek? Would you play a strong team or a mix of youth and senior player?
Mix of youth and senior players. I mean, that experiment has worked so far in the Europa League. And BATE, with all respect to them, are not that much of a threat. Even if it is an away match at their home, I mean, even if they don't want it in the Arsenal way, they will win by 2-0 or 3-1 probably. So they should try with mixture of youth and experience.
Yes, that would be the right call, and maybe we only have that option right now because Arsenal have many injuries, some long term, some are out for the season, some have short term, but they won't be available for the game. So mostly Arsenal will go with this youth and some senior player mixture. But I would expect a strong lineup because we are going away. We might be able to end that match in the first leg, or second game maybe we could play the youth players because just after that we would be playing Southampton away, और उसके 4 दिन बाद we would be playing Tottenham away, और उसके 4 दिन बाद we would be playing United. So एक cluster है matches का जहाँ पे Arsenal would need the strongest lineup. So I would say kill the game off in the first leg. Yes. Right.
Yeah. I mean, until the last 16, Arsenal will have easy matches in the Europa League. Yes. From the quarterfinal onwards, it will be quite tough.
Yes, I would expect it to be this way as well. Right, so that's it for today. We will be back on next Tuesday where we would be discussing our first leg match against BATE Borisov and much more. Now, some information regarding our show. So, up until now, we were only available on SoundCloud and YouTube, and now we are also available on Apple's podcast app and Spotify. To subscribe to our podcast there, you can go to the search bar in the app and search Joy Eats Football. That's JOY space EATS space FOOTBALL. Or if you're listening to our show on YouTube or SoundCloud, you can find the URL of both Apple Podcast and Spotify's link in the info or description box below. They will redirect you to the respective apps and you can subscribe to us from there. And I would also like to add that we extremely appreciate everyone who is listening to our podcasts. I can't explain what it means to us. Thank you so much.
And I would also like to say to our audience who are listening to our podcast that if they think our show should be improvised by any means, they should comment on our YouTube channel, because we have just started this podcast, so we still have to improve a lot. So your suggestions will be welcome.
And it would be very helpful for us. Alright, let's end the show. It's been a pleasure hosting today's show with Prateek.
Yes, it was an enjoyable show, though we have time constraint, but we tried our best to cover some of the important football-related matches happened in the weekend.
Definitely. You can find him on Twitter at BVB_Pats. That's BVB_PATZ. And you can find me on Twitter at 022Wenger. That's all for today. Bye bye till next Tuesday and up the Arsenal.
See ya.